Well, go on, people. We're back for another Fourever Arsenal, fully loaded for the show today, and everyone's got big smiles. Look at the smiles, man. I like this. Curtis, Lee Judges, and of course our good friend Jack there. We are here following on from the game against Inter Milan. A very great win for Arsenal, and a lot of fans really happy about that. So we're going to talk about that today. We're also going to discuss the big one at the weekend, Manchester United at the Emirates. Massive game. They're coming off the back of a really impressive display against Man City. And Arsenal, of course, really impressive against Inter. So it's going to be a massive game. It always is. It's going to be even bigger. But guys, welcome along. And how's everybody feeling?
Buzzing after that yesterday, I've got to say, didn't expect it. I'm going to be honest. I didn't expect Arsenal to play that well. I honestly thought that Inter were going to be better, if I'll be honest. I also thought because Inter really needed to win that game, that they would cause us a little bit more trouble. There were a few little dodgy moments in the game, which you expect. But all in all, what I did see of the game, which wasn't a lot, I'll be honest, it's the worst.
Is that because of the wine you was drinking or the view?
I see a couple of my mates I used to go football with yesterday, right? And they said, "Oh, you've changed, didn't you?" And I said, "What do you mean?" So I said, "Drinking wine. Where's the beer and all that?" And but I'm sort of watching me weight because I'm not training. They absolutely slaughtered me yesterday, But I know. So it's the view there is not the best. I actually think it's one of the best looking stadiums from outside, and it's iconic inside and all that. But my God, it's not the greatest. But I didn't even know Trossard had headed the ball back until Robbie showed me the highlights later on in the airport. But I've got to say, I thought that was a wonderful performance, and to make as many changes as we did, boys, you have to give credit to the squad and the manager for that, because you make a load of changes. There's a danger you're not going to get a performance, but I think we put in a wonderful performance, and I'll tell you what, there's a few players now I think deserve maybe to start against Man United. I'm boring Jack that much, was I? Like, he's gone. You know what I mean? Jack's back, like. Well done, Jack. Like, I hope I wasn't boring you too much there. Like, I've been offended by that, but there you go. I'll let you off.
I'm glad you missed me that much. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, I might as well talk now. The stage is mine, isn't it? So I just thought I'd like to point out that none of you have pointed out anything yet about my backdrop change up this episode. I don't know if you can just make out his name here, but I thought I'd bring some positivity to the episode today. We got my favorite player in the world, Victor Gyokeres.
He went and got that printed right today.
Yeah.
No,
you didn't have that before.
I promise that's from the start of the season. I told you I'm supporting, man. He was just letting me down. But you see what? Last night I was really impressed, and I don't know. I think I mentioned it in a couple episodes ago that we're used to him playing and Jesus coming on and playing against the tired legs and stuff. It was nice for a change to see him come on and play against some tired legs after Jesus sort of wore them down. And I thought that sort of played right up to his game. He seemed to look like he had like an extra couple yards of pace. That run he made after Martinelli's ball, which was outrageous, by the way, it was crazy. He was so good. Yeah. So I thought, let's start some positivity. We just beat Inter Milan away with a load of players rested. So I'm happy. I had to look back. I was like, I need to calm down. We're happy. We're doing well. 7 out of 7. I'll take it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Do you know what? Listen, I'm going to do something quite unique here. I think Mikel Arteta actually nailed it last night. Like to go to Inter Milan, beat them, and rotate players as well, and play as well as we did. Because I actually really enjoyed the game. I thought we could have scored more. Yeah. And they're top of the league in Italy, Champions League finalists last season. That was their full strength team. Like Lee said, they might not make the top 8 now. I think they got Dortmund away last game. I just thought it was a brilliant performance, one of the best away performances of the season. That's enough of the positivity from me, though. I want to be a bit controversial. You know me, I like a bit of controversy. The question I want to ask people, do we move the ball quicker and better when Martin Odegaard isn't in the team. We beat Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan, Tottenham, Leeds 5-0, all without Odegaard in the team. I thought we moved the ball very quick last night. Or was it a coincidence? I don't know, but I just thought I'd put that out there. But yeah, great performance overall anyway.
That's a good question, because we did move the ball right from the start of the game. I was so happy with the performance. Like, you know what we did that we don't always do when we go away? It's like started the game fast. We're on the front foot, and I can tell you that I was sat. I managed to get tickets in the UEFA section, right? Because I remember.
There's a surprise.
Right, so let me just say, actually, I got something to say on this, right? So I remember last year when we was at Inter. Right, Lee was being kind there. It's the worst, apart from Barcelona. It's probably the worst away position you can possibly go to.
Yeah,
it's terrible. Like, let's be real about it. It's absolutely terrible. They put you right up on the top tier. It's a really steep stadium, old stadium. You're behind perspex glass. You're behind netting. You're so high up. You can hardly even see what's going on. You just see dots playing on down behind, right? And being down in that UEFA section, right, that was pitch side. I was behind the, about 10 rows back from the sort of, the dugout sort of in front of you and that, yeah? It was like being at a different game. It was literally like, I was like, oh, I'm in the San Siro. All the other times I've not been in the San Siro. To me, something has to be done about this now. When I say Arsenal need to grow up here now and start treating the fans when they come to our place the same way we're treated when we go to their place, right? Being down there now, I realize how much of an advantage it is to put the fans that high up. For a lot of the game, and I know that Arsenal fans were in good voice, you couldn't hear the fans because you're so far away and you're so high up, you can hardly hear them. You can't, I knew where the fans were, so I'm looking up there, but you can't really see them. So you're literally, the Arsenal fans are removed from the game. And it's like going to play a game where literally the whole stadium is Inter fans. And that ain't right. And that's an unfair advantage. And I think when those fans come to our place, any fans that do that and any grounds that do that put us up there, we should do the same to them. End of now. Why are they down below, lower tier, great position, having the time of their lives at the Emirates? And then when we go to their ground, we are put up there like absolute cattle. And how long they kept you in, Lee, because I was waiting outside for you guys to come. They kept the away fans in for unnecessarily because I'm outside. And I see that the Inter fans, a lot of them have gone home because they'd had enough, right? There was no reason to keep the Arsenal fans in for that long. That was ridiculous as well. Honestly,
an hour.
Yeah, an hour. It was an hour. It was an hour. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. So that's my little rant over about that. But I'm telling you, because I was sat in an area where it's sort of kind of mixed, but it's mainly Inter fans, right? I can tell you, they were shocked. They were shell-shocked. They couldn't believe the way they got played off the park. Honestly, they couldn't. I heard this Italian guy chatting behind me, right? And when Saka was on the ball, he said, we can't get the ball off this guy. He's unplayable, right? And had Saka have had a bit more end product, man, he could have had because he was excellent. Like they couldn't deal with Saka. They couldn't deal with it. As good as a defensive team they were. We were carving them up, and they're known for their defense, aren't they? Bastoni and players like that. And I thought it was brilliant. We started quickly on the front foot. Jesus was brilliant, really. I don't know. I guess we'll discuss this, but I feel now he's earned his starting place against Man United. He was brilliant on the night. And you're right, Curtis. I don't know if it's because of Odegaard, but it was definitely more free-flowing. I don't know if it's because when we're playing teams like that, Inter Milan and these sort of teams, because they're good, they're top teams, they're a bit more on the front foot. So a bit more spaces open up and we can sort of, because certainly they weren't doing a Nottingham Forest or Liverpool where they had everybody behind the ball. They were they were in their shape, but they were looking to, they sort of was playing like a 4-4-2, weren't they? But they were trying to get the ball up to Thuram and he was holding it up, but we just dealt with that all night long. Mosquera, who I thought was absolutely brilliant. And I was just so happy with that performance. That was a morale-boosting performance ahead of that Man United game, because I think what that did yesterday, there's a lot of United fans have been getting very, very carried away with their performance. And, you know, I understand it. They were excellent against City. But I think that was just a little reminder to say, hey, hold on. You beat City, so did Bodo Glimt, by the way, and they scored more goals. Right? So relax yourself. It's the big man thing on Sunday, and just a little bit of a reminder. And let's credit Arteta. I know we were all disappointed and frustrated after the weekend, but that's now 4 away games in different competitions on the bounce. That's not easy. That's not easy to do that. One's a semi-final. One's you've got to go away to Inter, a really tough place to go. Even the Portsmouth one, even though, listen, we're expected to beat Portsmouth, but we know it's a very atmospheric place. Not an easy, game to negotiate when you know you're going to make a lot of changes. So of the 4 games, overall, it's turned out all right. Even that point, as bad as we were all moaning about it, even that's turned out to be all right. It's been a good couple of weeks for Arsenal when it's come to those away games.
Looking on the Martin Odegaard, I think he's got Sunday, Curtis. Sunday's a big game for him because I don't think he played well against Liverpool. He didn't play well against Forest. And I think Man United is the key for him. Look, I'm a big fan of his, but I'm in the camp of if you don't step up, you could be dropped. Like Miles Lewis-Skelly's played a few bad games, axed. You know what I mean? It's happened to Martinelli. It's happened to other players that have not been doing the business, axed. You can even look at Eze. Eze had scored a hat-trick against Tottenham, scored against Palace, was in not bad form, went to Aston Villa and played him out on the left wing, had a poor game, ain't hardly seen him since. Madueke, poor game, deservedly dropped, out of it. Yes, I think at the end of the day, Eze, I thought it was a little bit harsh for him to come off yesterday when you're trying to prove yourself. The game's opening up. It's a good game. There's chances, but he's been taken off. And so Odegaard knows that he's going to be in the team Sunday. And I think it's now, you've got to perform. You're the captain of the team as well. There's a responsibility to play well in that. And, listen, do I think he will do? Yeah, I think he will come up because class tells in the end. But he's got to do it, Curtis, because there are people doubting him. There are people now questioning that decision, whether he's going to be playing week in, week out. Especially now after Ethan Nwaneri going to Marseille. There's a little bit of people feeling, because he's one of our own, a little bit unjust on that. Martin Odegaard, step up. You have to. You're the captain. You can do it. And I'll tell you what, I say this and I keep saying it. If he does, we win this league. It's as simple as that. That's how vital he is to us. But he can't be playing like these performances against Forest. And I'm not worried about, sometimes he ain't going to get the creativity guys. You ain't going to get that. But I don't want to see him getting knocked off the ball and pushed off the ball. You've got to be a warrior in there as well, especially when you're the captain as well. You've got to show that you've got that passion and desire to win games of football when it's tough. And when it's tough, and we're not in a bad moment at the time, but we are in the league, 2-0 draws. Someone in this team's got to step up. And, we're always looking at Saka. We're looking, like Gyokeres is getting a lot of criticism and a lot of heat. But Declan Rice steps up week in, week out. He has got to do it. And I felt for Eze yesterday. I'm going to be honest. I felt that he should have stayed on to the end of that game because it was opening out. We was playing some good stuff. He was on the periphery of it. Yes, he was. But then we brought on Martinelli, who's got that pace. And the game just opened up a little bit. And that's where he could have been very, very keen to it. And funny and coincidence why he took him off. But he did. So I felt that was a little bit strange, him coming off, really.
Do you know what? And I hope I don't sound too harsh on Odegaard. But I think what's happening at Arsenal and the way we're questioning certain players is a positive thing, because I think what it tells you is the level's gone up and the expectation is different. You look when we signed Zinchenko when we was in Orlando, that first season we were like him and Jesus. And then within a year or two, we're going, we've gone up another level now. Zinchenko's on the bench and look at him now. He's basically disappeared out of the club. I thought Lewis Skelly was brilliant last night. You know, 19 years of age, not a natural left back in the San Siro, one of the most iconic stadiums, and he stepped up last night. You know what I mean? Showed some real heart. He did the interview after the game. You could tell he was buzzing with his performance. Mosquera at £13 million. You know, I was looking the other night for Fourever at Chelsea, £80 million. Maguire, 75 million. Do you know, and this guy costs £13 million. He's 21 years of age. The guy looked like a warrior yesterday.
Yeah.
And I don't know about anybody else, and I don't like getting carried away with praise for players, but this one, I just got to say it. I think William Saliba's the best centre-back in the world.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody is better than that guy right now. I think Van Dijk's had that crown for a number of years. I think he's got to pass the torch. This guy is just incredible. And he's 24 years of age. Most centre-backs, your prime's probably in your late 20s. He makes defending look so easy. It's unreal. Do you know what I mean? And even yesterday, I don't know if you watched the game back, there was a little clip where he tackles Thuram. And Thuram's like laughing. He like goes up to him and pushes him. And it's almost like, I can't get past you. You know what I mean? They're French teammates. And I just think, you know, in all these new signings that we brought in the summer, getting Saliba to sign that new contract's almost one of the biggest bits of business.
Hey,
so
Curtis, the runs that he was doing, you know what? I think if he has a bit of belief at the end of those runs, he could score a lot of goals doing those. You know, I've seen him do that now in about the last 3 or 4 games. Like he's been given a little license, but he's so good. He's quick as well.
Yeah. He's just got everything. I think he had a shot the other week, didn't he, where he tried to whip it in the top corner. I think it might have been the Chelsea game, but I just think you look at the strength in depth in the squad now. You know, Havertz doesn't even come on last night. Yeah. Declan Rice comes off the bench. It was good to see how we look without Declan Rice as well. Just, you know, I'll be honest, you know, Arsenal, it's a roller coaster of emotion at the moment. When the game finished at Forest, I went, it's the same old. And then we finished the game last night and I went, we might win like 2 or 3 trophies. Like, I saw your interview with Dharmesh Chef and you did well. You played it down. It's very Dharmesh tried to set you up. Robbie, you know, trying to set you up. You know what I mean? You want to downplay it. In my mind, I've got visions of like 2 or 3 trophies in front of the team photo next year, but I have to stay calm, you know, because one bad result, you know, we don't beat Man United, I'll be flipping on Monday. So, yeah, we're dreaming quietly at the moment.
It's true, man. It's true.
I like what you said about Saliba as well, with the fact that I feel like we don't talk about him enough because we're so used to it now. That before, when we had like Mustafi and Socrates and stuff, when he first came in, we were like, oh my days, like, he can defend. Like, this is like revolutionary for us. We have a centre back that can defend, and we would like talk about it all the time. But now we're like 3-4 seasons in. We're sort of like, it's just Saliba. Like, yeah, he's the best. Like, we sort of know that already. It's like, he's just stopped an attack, took it past 2 people, and pinged it to Saka. We're like, we don't even need to react. We've seen it 100 times. So it is nice to like stop and think when we win them big games. Like, that's San Siro ticked off his list in terms of stadiums he's gone and won at. It's like, I feel like it's one of them partnerships. I was obviously mentioned to Gabriel as well that is in that same bracket, but I think Saliba, we've been quite vocal with Gabriel because he scores a lot, but with Saliba he probably gets a bit less where he doesn't score as much. But he's a centre back at the end of the day. So I think them two as a partnership, you know, if they can win big things this season, they've got a good chance to go on, and they both sign new deals to go on and go down as like what one of the best centre back partnerships the league's seen. I think you got Vidic, Ferdinand, Van Dijk, and someone's probably up there, you know, Terry and Carvalho maybe, but I think they've definitely got a chance to be up there, to be honest. But then in terms of the rest of the team as well, I didn't know what you guys thought about the Nwaneri move. Do you think that will push us to sign someone else? Do you think the squad's short now with Norgard?
I hope so, Jack. I hope so.
I'm kind of in 2 minds. I can't make a decision if like Nwaneri wasn't getting game time anyway, so why do we need him? But at the same time, PTSD. What if we get 2 ACLs next month and we're like, we loan Nwaneri? I don't know.
Well, you said yesterday, Lee, that you think maybe we should be trying to use that to try and bring in someone as a backup for Declan Rice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know who that player is, because it's interesting because I see like Aston Villa. That excuse me, that Kamara's out, isn't he, for the rest?
He's out for season.
Yeah, which is a massive blow to you could say he's their Declan Rice. He's a very good player, and I've just been looking at some of the players that they're trying to get to cover him off. I mean, I saw one. What's the guy at AC Milan used to be at Chelsea?
Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh. I mean, that's he wouldn't be a replacement for like a Rice or I don't know. Like it's like who do you bring in could back up Declan Rice? Certainly the rest of the squad. We've seen it last night. I mean, you know, how many players stepped in? Jesus steps in, brilliant. Like you said, Mars Lewis Skelly was so happy for him, man. Like he's been coming under a lot of pressure. I thought his performance yesterday was fantastic. You know what I mean? And you know, and as you said, Mosquera, what a player! What a player, man. You know what I mean? He's just so calm. And so I don't know, maybe he can play defensive midfielder. I don't know. But, you know, yeah, I think that's the only thing, like if Rice had a problem. But certainly at the moment, there's lots of players coming back. There's news today that Nkapie might be back earlier than we thought. If we can get Calafiori back, remember, he's not even there at the moment. And he's been one of our best defenders this season. It does bode well. That's why, Curtis, you're right, mate. I was reining it in, right? I was reining it in with Amish, man. I was like, yeah, you're trying to... But quietly underneath, I'm like starting to feel a bit confident that this team will win something this season, man, because the team's good. You see it. The side are good, man. I mean, as I said, I was around them Inter fans, man. They were shell-shocked. They know that they came up against a very, very good side. And, you know, yeah. Now, Arteta last night got everything. Did you spot something? Now, Lee, you were very heavily critical of one thing, but I'm not sure if you saw the science behind it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I don't know. I didn't see much. Really,
you were
like
very, very like Cecil was telling me this morning that you was losing it, absolutely losing it, because you and him have stood up next to each other, right? And you didn't realize the real reason why behind the science. And I'll tell you what it was. You were losing it when Declan Rice came on, right? But now we know. Now we know why he came on, right? He came on to get a yellow card, Lee. That's why he came on.
Right? And Marino.
Him and Marino were both in danger of like they could.
Do they get taken through to the next round then? Did they?
Yeah, because if you don't have a reset on them, if you don't reach, like they've done their suspension now, it gets carried over apparently. So both of those, both of those have got a reset.
Good thing to do then.
Yeah,
you know. Listen, I did have the other back. I did have the other back because I do feel that, you know, one, I want to, you know, we played Aston Villa, we beat Aston Villa really, really well without Declan Rice. So why do we? That was my thing. Like, did we really need to bring Declan Rice on? Like, if that's the case and they've done that, then that's fair enough. Like, you know, bring him on with a minute ago and kick someone. I don't know, like, you know, but I just felt that could we do it without Declan Rice? But listen, you know, I have to say when he come on, he was brilliant. He was brilliant when he come on. Like, of some of the things that he done. And, you know, I just think that if I think Arsenal could go very, very deep in this competition with Declan Rice in this team. I think if we was to lose Declan Rice, it might be a little bit tougher for us. You know what I mean? I just think he is the challenge man of the team at this moment in time. And we was talking about this, funny enough, on the way home today. Declan Rice didn't have a great game against Nottingham Forest. Arsenal didn't play well, you know what I mean? Like, so if he's playing his game, does that make Arsenal play well and tick, like, you know? And I think that when he didn't play in that game against Aston Villa, other players think, oh, I've got to step up now because he's not here. I think that's how good he is for us, like, you know? So, listen, Mikel I did correct myself after that, though, Robbie, and say that, you know, I did think that Arteta did get everything right. I thought his substitutions were spot on yesterday. Everything that he done,
no, it's a smart move. Smart move.
Was smart.
Yeah,
I think he done. You know, and you've got to give the manager credit to change all those players. You know what I mean? That he did. He changed 7 players yesterday to go to San Siro and still get the result when it was, as you say, it was difficult for. I don't think everybody. You know, I think we all. I went for a defeat. You guys went for a draw. So I always look at that when you say it's a draw. You're not convinced you're going to. You know, you're thinking more of a defeat than a win. That's why you say draw. That's how I feel. But you know, I have to say that was a special performance yesterday. You know, I listen. I haven't really had opportunity to see too much at this moment in time, but you know, some of the football we played yesterday was breathtaking. It was really what I've got to say. Miles Lewis-Skelly now. There's a question whether he comes in because look, Mascaro played absolutely outstanding, but he's not going to come. We know that it's going to be Gabriel and Saliba because they've been fantastic. I didn't think Timber's had his 2 games at left back have not been convincing. So there's the opportunity for him to come in there. And I think Jesus now, that performance from him has really opened up a can of worms for Mikel, who he picks out. We were asked the question. I don't know who he's going to pick, like, you know what I mean? So, you know, Miles Lewis-Skelly, big up to him last night. That was a massive game for him because I think he knew that, you know, how must he be feeling like, first and foremost? He's been playing left back. He's seen, first of all, Calafiori come in and take his place. And, you know, you have to hold your hands up and say deserves it. He's seen Nketiah come in from nowhere and take his place. He's then seen Timber, who's been right back, moved over to left back and take his place. And there was an opportunity for him last night. He could have buckled last night and he didn't. I'm so pleased for him. And that was a wonderful performance from him last night in a difficult game.
Do you know?
Sorry.
Go on, man.
No, go.
Do you know what I really like about last night as well, and why I'm giving Arteta praise is, I know we're looking at it as, oh, you know, there wasn't a lot riding on it and he rotated, but I think he also was sending a message to certain players to say, okay, none of you didn't play well, you're out. Odegaard, you didn't play well, you're out. Do you know what I mean? He took players out. Timber wasn't working well at left back. You look at Jesus last night. Jesus, like you just said, Lee, his performance is making Arteta go, I don't know what striker I'm playing now on Sunday. Or in fact, he might be saying, I'm going with Jesus after that performance. Saka came in, you know. So I think it wasn't just I'm resting players because it's Inter Milan. It was, that's not acceptable against Forest. I'm going to give other players an opportunity to take your shirt off, you know. You even look at Martinelli, who was poor against Forest. That's probably the best ball I've ever seen him play last night. That outside of the foot pass. That's like
I still ain't seen it.
Mate, honestly, you need to watch that whole game back. You need to watch it all.
Oh, what a...
And then the Gyokeres. You look at Gyokeres. Gyokeres was poor against Forest, comes on, scores that goal. Great to see him and Saka celebrate just to, you know, get rid of all that conspiracy theory that they had going on. So I think that's what he's got to do. And this is why I was talking about the Odegaard thing. Arteta should make these players feel like I can get dropped here. Doesn't matter how big I am, how my reputation is. If I'm not performing, someone's waiting to take my place. Like you said, Lee, I think the only player that hasn't really got competition is Declan Rice. We haven't got anybody that's like him. So if they could go into the market, but I just get a feeling we're not going to do a lot in this window.
I've got a question for all of you. Jack, let me start with you, yeah? So actually, I was seeing today that with the bookmakers, also actually been installed as the favourites to win the Champions League. Not really a surprise when you consider we haven't lost a game. 7 straight wins in the, you know, and in that straight wins, you know, we must remember, you know, you look at the team Spurs have played. They've been very fortunate with their Champions League draw, I feel. I mean, you look at Arsenal, they've had to play Bayern Munich, they've had to go play Atletico, they've had to go away to Inter. Like, you know, there's been some tough games in there, right? And they've won all 7 of those. But my question is to you, Jack, if we are favourites, and all of you, right? Number 1, do you think we're favourites? And number 2, when you look at all the other teams, I know you guys would have been watching many of the other games. When you look at all the other teams, who do you think is the you know, the favourites then to win it? Who do you fear? Who would you fear coming up against if you're Arsenal? I mean, I'll just say mine. For me, I still think the next best team or the two best teams for me in the tournament are the top two in Arsenal and Bayern. I think I wouldn't be, and in no way disrespecting because these teams are mega teams, I wouldn't be fearful of coming up against a Real Madrid again, or a Barcelona, or even a PSG. I think Arsenal would have enough to beat those three. The team I do think, even though we beat them at the Emirates, over 2 legs, I still think Bayern would be a tough game. But we wouldn't. I think we'd only face them in a one-off game now anyway, if it looks like we're going to finish 1 and 2. But what do you guys think?
I know it's interesting. I think in terms of do I think we are the favourites? I'd say probably. I think the Premier League's the strongest league in the world right now. I think everyone's pretty in agreement with that when it comes down to money and everything that's spent. And at the end of the day, we're the best team in the league right now. It says so by the table. So I think naturally it's going to make us favourites, especially because we got the semi-final experience last year. We're not as new to it. I think we got a bit more experience in the latter stages now. Bit more know-how to get around them knockout games, and obviously the added thing this year of we're going to be playing all our home games second as well is obviously going to add to our ability to win them knockouts. I mean, in terms of who else I think is up there, I think Bayern Munich is the obvious one. Again, wasn't that impressed when we played them, but at the same time, I think we played PSG quite early on last year as well, and I wasn't that impressed. And then when it really mattered, they obviously turned it on, and they were really good and probably deserved to beat us over them 2 legs. So definitely scared of Bayern for that. But I don't know about you, but I mean, Barcelona, Real Madrid are all great and stuff, but I'm probably more scared of the Premier League teams, even down to a Tottenham. And it might seem silly, but I think they're in the auto qualifiers, or they're not far off it anyway.
No, they're. I think they're 4th at the moment. As it's before the games, we're recording the show before the games tonight. They might, but they will be in the top 8. I think by the end of this evening. Definitely.
Yeah, either them, City. I think the Prem teams. I think when it comes to a knockout Champions League sort of Prem team versus Prem team, I mean, we haven't had to experience one of them for a while. But I think that added atmosphere of it being Prem teams. Of course, Barcelona and Real Madrid are way better teams than Tottenham, for example, and City aren't in the best of form this season. But I think just a knockout game. Imagine that, like a semi-final against Tottenham in the Champions League. Like if they somehow scrape themselves with a lucky draw there, that would be like massive. The pressure on that, obviously not a tough game like a PSG or something, but the mental pressure, the rivalry and stuff. Just I think that's what more scary. I just always remember when I think of Champions League, when I really think about it, I think of like Liverpool and Chelsea, and when we got United and Ronaldo scored that free kick, and I seem to remember the Premier League clashes quite a lot. So I don't know. I think they're the ones I'll probably be most worried about, just trying to avoid Prem teams until the final.
Good shout.
Yeah. For me, I'm not worried about Bayern Munich because, as you quite rightly said, Rob, we ain't going to play them until the final if that's the case. You know what I mean? So I'm with Jack on it there. I'm not fear, but it's a different. It's not a Champions League game, but it is a Champions League game. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like a funny situation. Like when I don't enjoy those games. I know. Do you remember we played Liverpool a few years back? Didn't enjoy it. Man United. We've never done well in them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I think we've played Man United, Liverpool, lost. You know what I mean. So you don't really want to go. You don't. If I've been really honest, you want to avoid those games. I don't know how you feel about that. I don't really want to play those games. I want to play. Go to a European game and all that. But listen, I think if you're going to fear one team, I think with the players they've got Real Madrid, you just don't know what you're going to get with them. Like, and there'd be a little bit of payback there from their point of view, for a little bit of revenge. So I'd probably like to say them, but I think all of the teams in Europe have got vulnerabilities. You know what I mean? Whether it be defensively or whatever. And guys, I'm going to say it now: Spurs are 14th in the league, right? 14th. Can't win a game at home. Like they're unbeaten at home in Europe. So what does that tell you? Either it's not as good as what it is, or it's a little bit more open, and that might suit Arsenal if these teams are open a little bit. Like they're good teams, aren't they? So they don't feel that they will sit back in banks of 4 and things like that. So that would be the team that I would be a little bit more wary of.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you you think about maybe a Liverpool in a semi-final at Anfield. There's certain things happen in games like that, don't they? So you don't really want to play an English team. I still think PSG are a massive danger. They only lost Donnarumma. I still think Luis Enrique is one of the best managers in Europe at
They
the
lost
moment
last
as
night,
well.
innit?
They got beat 2-1 to Sporting. Yeah, they had a few missing. I think they're struggling with injuries.
Yeah, they are.
They're not even top of the French league at the moment, which is crazy. Maybe Bayern again, because when we didn't play them, I think, Musiala, Alfonso and Diaz were all missing. But I have to say, boys, honestly, I think this is the most open Champions League I've seen in a long, long time. And the question there, Robbie, honestly, I don't think any team we should be scared of. You have to respect all of them. Like you said, you go to the Bernabeu and Mbappe's flying. It's a tough night. You go to Nou Camp and Lamine. But I haven't watched any team in Europe this season and gone, boy, they're at a level that we can't reach. Most of these teams can't defend at the moment. They all conceding goals. Not only have we won every game, we've conceded 2 goals in 7 games in the Champions League. I mean, that's unbelievable. So I think we've got we're probably not the favourites because of the inexperience, and the pressure. It changes a lot of things. But I don't think it really matters whether we're the favourites or not. I've always said that if it wasn't for Donnarumma, I think we'd have won the Champions League last season. I honestly think that he was incredible against us, and Inter got smashed in the final, and I think we'd have beat them in the final. I think we've just got my sort of scenario that I'm hoping for is we get the title wrapped up quite early. I know this is, and then we go all out for that Champions League, because I'm telling you now, we need to complete the set, put a star above the badge, and then that ammunition is disappeared. All that Champions of Europe talk, we will be unbearable if we win the Champions League for good reason, So I'm trying to keep it together right now.
I've got Darwish on the phone.
Can you win all 4? Well, I actually said on my stream though today, Rob, I said, look, I'm not going to start talking about quads, but all 4 of them trophies are on the table for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Like whichever one we can get or 2 we can get. We're the favourites for the Carabao Cup. We're the favourites for the FA Cup. We're the favourites for the Prem. And now you're saying they're putting us as favourites for the Champ. We should be winning trophies this season.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I was chatting to a friend this morning, and I said we were talking about Arsenal and how we progressed over the years, right? And we said we've gone from talking about top 4 to winning 4. You know what I mean? Like, because remember, that used to be our, it just used to be about top 4, But guys, listen, this weekend, it's back to business. It's back to back home, because it's the first time we've been in the Emirates for a while, so there's going to be that. But a big, big game. Big under any circumstances when we play Man United, but they're on a high at the moment. Obviously, they had a great win against Manchester City. They looked really, really impressive. You saw new manager bounce. You saw players that have been shocking this season all of a sudden were different animals under Carrick. It's going to be a tough game. City would have played before us, am I right, Lee? Yeah, they would have played Wolves.
Yeah, they play Saturday.
We're expecting them to beat Wolves, although I'd say Wolves are better than Bodo.
Villa played before us as well.
According to Pep, he should be all right because he's only going to be playing on grass. So he did a bit of a tie in it, moaning about that plastic pitch. But you'd expect them to win. So it's going to be pressure again on Arsenal in this game. Man United, 4:30 kickoff UK time on Sunday. Guys, this one's big. This one is big. How are you feeling about this game? Who starts up front, Jack? You got the Gyokeres shirt there. Who starts up front?
You know what? Like I would have gone Havertz. I think I said in the last podcast I wanted to see Havertz start that game yesterday. But he didn't even get on the pitch. So that sort of rules him out. So it is between Jesus and Gyokeres. If you ask me 60 minutes in, it was a no-brainer. Jesus starts. But I don't know. That was the most impressed I've ever been by Gyokeres at the club, and it might have been because of the space, tired legs, and stuff like that. But I don't know, the way he ran on that Martinelli pass. It was like, I'm getting this ball, you're all getting out my way, and I'm going to absolutely hammer it at the net. And it was like, I've not seen him do that once all season, and I finally saw it last night. And that's what I was asking for in all these pods, that obviously, I don't expect him to score every single game. I didn't expect it to be the same as Sporting here. Like, I don't think anyone did, but just seeing things like where, or if he does get free, he's going to score. So defenders have to think about that. And I think last night showed that if he is given space, which he's not going to get in the Premier League all the time, but hopefully that gave him a bit of confidence with that. I think his celebration as well, like that's the most animated I've seen him in terms of celebrations as well in a while. He sort of wasn't forced to go and do his mask. He sort of went and done it and screaming afterwards and hugging everyone, like you said, the Saka thing. It's funny because the Saka one, I don't know if you guys in the stadium saw it, but about 5 minutes before he scored, Saka went through again and could have passed it across the box. It was like a ditto of all the chances he's had before, and he didn't do it. And Gyokeres did that again, asking for the ball. So I thought, oh, here we go again. But luckily, Saka got the assist for that. I think it counts as an assist anyway. So I don't know. Jesus is so impressive, but I think give Gyokeres the United game. Show us you can play consistently well in back-to-back games, because he's still not done that. Because obviously he was good against Chelsea, poor against Forest again. Show us you can sort of do a back-to-back game. And why not? I mean, Jesus is there to come off the bench, cause issues. I know it's harsh dropping someone after a brace, but I think Jesus said in his post-match anyway, he sort of said, like, I know where I'm at. I know what's expected of me. I'm 28. I'm not 21 anymore. I've had big knee surgeries. Like, I'm not expecting to start every single game. Like, I've got realistic views for the season and stuff. So I sort of think he knows he's there to rotate with Gyokeres. And yeah, it might be confusing coming from me, but yeah, why not start Gyokeres?
Clip that up, man. Clip that up. I tell you what, boys, and I say this all the time, right? This is still my favourite Premier League game. I love this game. Do you know what I mean? Like the rivalry from back in the day, the fans, everything about it. I just love this game, and I think you made a great point, Rob. I think that win last night kind of calmed United fans down. You beat City. Okay, well, I had a Man United fan trying to troll me last night in the comments. I said, well, who are you playing? You know what I mean? I don't know why you're trolling me. You ain't even playing. Your players are at home. So, yeah, for me, it's tough because Jesus was superb last night. Not just his goal, even that ball that he played to Saka, where he should have really shot a bit quicker. But I'll be honest, I'm gonna play Gyokeres because I just think, and I've said it all along, for Arsenal to win this league, I think you've got to find a way to get Gyokeres firing. Well, we have been frustrated, but I just felt that was a bit of a moment for him last night. The celebration, the team he played against, the quality of the goal. I just think he's ready. Sesko might be playing for Man United. You want Gyokeres playing for us. Also, can Jesus play, 2 starts in the same week? Maybe he can. I think I would start Gyokeres and then bring Jesus on, and then Jesus maybe could start next Wednesday against Kairat, who we should beat quite easily. I know a lot of people in the comments will say Jesus, but I just think, can you catch Gyokeres in the right moment? I think if he scores against United at home, I think it'll be a great atmosphere. I think he'd just get going from that point. So I would go with Gyokeres personally.
Listen, I think when Jesus scored those 2 goals, that was it. It was nailed on for him. But Gyokeres come back and it's like in a game of tennis. He won the second set. It's into the third set now. And decided, it's a difficult one. Very, very difficult one. I don't know about you guys, just going about how big this game is. I was trying to put it on a little bit of I actually enjoyed playing against, as a fan, I was very relaxed against Portsmouth, very relaxed against Chelsea, even though that was a semi-final. I'm very relaxed against Inter Milan. But against Forest, I was a nervous wreck, and I'll be a nervous wreck come Sunday because it's so important. Hopefully the players don't feel like that, And I think it's, Mikel's got a real couple of tough decisions to make. I think the left back's a massive decision, and the up front there is a massive decision. I think against Gyokeres is another interesting one, as you said. When's Havertz going to get some minutes? So I think that Havertz may play in that game. So this is a game where I think that Arteta shows his colours. Who is his main man up front? You know what I mean?
What are you doing though?
I think that Jesus was outstanding yesterday. I have to say that, and not just outstanding. He brings the other players in. I know we were saying about earlier on about Odegaard is not there. We're a bit. I think he brings players into the game, and the way we play, there was more cohesion between the front 3 and 4. That's how I feel. But I think Arteta will go with Gyokeres. I think that he will. I think you've got a great point when you say that. I think that he has to make this work, and just when I'd give up on him, and I don't think we've all give up on him in a bad way. We just thought, well, maybe it is time to change. And we was probably that was the right decision, But I'm with what we all said, Dave. I thought his cameo yesterday, last 20 minutes, was as good as what I've seen him from him. Like, there was a hunger, a determination, an aggression of him. Like, now that it could be like, and I think if you'd be really honest about it, Jesus has seemed to have been the better player coming off the bench in the last couple of games than Gyokeres. So it may be that either one is tiring out the opposition, and then the other one's benefiting from it. So I think it's going to be a big call. I'm really interested to see when it comes out. And do you know what? Jesus has got a good record against Man United. He scored a few goals against them. Mm-hmm. So I honestly think, I don't know if you think this, I think Mikel might have not had a sleepless night over it last night. I don't think he might do if he's in the same room as Cesar. We'll probably get no sleep. But anyway, that's another story. You know what I mean? So, I think it's a real tough decision what he's got to make. I don't think there's a wrong decision. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there's a wrong decision to make on this. I think if he went with Jesus, I'd understand it. And if he goes with Gyokeres, I think I'm going to understand it as well. It ain't one of those ones where you're going to go, I told you so, he should have played Jesus, or I told you so, he's going to play Gyokeres. But I just think Jesus yesterday, away to Inter Milan, I thought he was outstanding. It just wasn't his goals, boys. In my opinion, it was his all-round play was sensational as well. So I'm going to go Jesus just for that fact.
Yeah, no, Jesus was brilliant. I think I'm with you, Lee. I think, and I've been really pushing for Gyokeres, but I just felt Jesus was brilliant yesterday. Or like you said, all round. I think Gyokeres might get the nod just based off of fitness type vibes, you know what I mean? Because obviously he's come back with those ACLs, but he didn't look like an injured player or a player that's come back from an injury. No. He looked fully fit. He was everywhere. And I don't know, United's defence, they like the sort of physical, Maguire, Lisandro Martinez. They might be more suited to that physical battle type player that Gyokeres is going to bring. Whereas Jesus, them little intricate, tricky bits of play, and he can be physical as well. I felt he held the ball up well as well yesterday. I think if he's fit, there'd be a shout for him, definitely, to start. And then the other you're right, Lee. The other interesting one is Miles Lewis-Skelly. I think we know what the rest of the team's going to be. But do you play Miles there, or Timber? Do you put Timber back in there again? I mean, because Miles was really good. He's going to come up against a lot of pace, because it's in Buemo, isn't it? Yeah, really quick, tricky player. Do you put Timber back in there because he's sort of really good on the man marking thing, even though, like you said, Lee, he's nowhere near as good as when he's playing on the right? Or do you say, Miles, we've got faith in you. Here you go, you're in again. That's going to be a really interesting one as well. But I'm looking forward to this game, man. This is going to be a big game. We're back home. And that result yesterday brings the fan. It weren't like the fans weren't going to be up for this. But the fans now are buzzing again because their fans would be coming in super confident and all that. But now we're going in super confident. We're not thinking about Forest so much. We're thinking about what we just did and how well we played. And this league now, we need to start getting those sort of performances like what we're seeing in the Champions League in the league as well. Because we've had 2 games in a row where we haven't scored, where we've come up against teams that are sat deep, and we know United are going to do that. They're going to be deep and try and catch us on the counter-attack. and we must find a way to break it down. And guys have to bring their A game to this, because, you know, if we don't, we could get hurt by United. So massive game. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, and like you said, Rob, the whole dynamics of the game is going to look different because we expect City to beat Wolves. So that then would put them 4 points behind us again. So we're going to be on edge then, knowing that we've got to win that game. Really, I just think we've got to send out a bit of a message, you know, because the last couple of times we've had a chance when City have drawn, we've then drawn. So it's encouraging them. I think even if they beat Wolves, we need to be like, listen, man, we know what time it is. We beat Man United at home. You lot aren't catching us. As I said, their next two games are Tottenham and Liverpool away, Manchester City, after this weekend.
Yeah.
So we need to sort of put the pressure back on them and say, listen, we beat United, man. Now it's on to you. And, you know, Pep's saying a lot of things in the press conference. Things are going against him. He's not happy. He looks a bit stressed at the moment. I think Haaland's gone like 5 games without scoring, which is unheard of for him. So things are starting to flow nicely for us. Like you said, it would be interesting what happens at left back, because if, you know, Timber hasn't looked great at left back, and if you're playing against Mbuemo or maybe Ahmad, I think Mbuemo played up front against City and Ahmad was on the right, but all very direct. And that is what's troubled Skelly a little bit in recent weeks, is that sort of direct speed. I know you said Nkapie might be back, so will he just maybe put him straight back in at left back? But then what kind of message does that send to Lewis Skelly if he just gets dropped? So he's got a selection headache. And like you said, I think Odegaard will get the nod over Eze, and you know, the spotlight will be on him as well. So there's a lot of angles with this, but I think we're going to beat them. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sitting here. I'm always nervous watching Arsenal, but I do think we're going to have a little bit too much for them. I think we've got a spring in our step at the moment.
Big game. I think Arsenal got to win this. You know what I mean? 2 draws in the last 2 games, 0-0s. But more importantly, like, you know, drop points against Liverpool at home. Like, you know what I mean? Can't continue. If you're going to win leagues, you've got to win your own games. And so we're at home. Advantages are on us. And you know what gives us a bit? I think, like, it ain't since that Liverpool game that we played at home. It's been a little while. I think you know, the home crowd is, you know, will be buzzing to get back to the Emirates, and I think that, you know, nothing better than Man United at home. So I think it's a game to look forward to, and you know, I think that we've got to go at some stage and nail a performance. You know, just that performance yesterday just reminded me as a fan, you know, hold on a minute here. Arsenal, right, they didn't play well against us, but we are a bloody good team. We've got good players. Now go and do it in the league. Just remind everybody in the league what a bloody good side we are. We are the best team in the league. There's no 2 ways about it. Go and remind everybody. Just go and put a statement. We put a statement out into Europe. You know, let's go and put a statement in the Premier League now. Like, under pressure, big game, Man United in a little bit of form. Like, that's what we do. That's what we do.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's just about making a statement, like you said. It's starting to get real now. Like, we're not. You don't have to always play up until game week 38 to see if you won the league. It could be that we know, like, if the points gap stays the same by like game week 34, game week 35, which is not that far away now. So it's starting to sort of like the realism of it that, you know, game by game we're so closely getting there. And if City do drop points in their little run they have, because I think they got Newcastle soon after that. I can't remember exactly, but they've got another tough game coming up after that, Tottenham and Liverpool. So they could
wait to Liverpool.
Yeah, they could drop more points, and you know, if that becomes sort of 12, 15 points, it might be that we can clinch the league by game week 30. And it sounds silly, but what we're at now, like 21, 22, like we're actually getting to the point where that we've actually got to start thinking about those scenarios. I know good old Connor works at the channel that was letting me know that he's started to think about flights coming back, and he's really actually got to sit here and think about it and come to parades and stuff. And it's mad that we're actually might even be talking about that for 4 different trophies. And it's just nice to be in that position. So I think the Man United one was sort of stamped that. I know you're saying karma, but it's at the point where it's coming. Like we're not at game week 13 anymore. We're at game week 21. Like we're getting there, man. I think the only thing that I don't want us to do, Robbie, is that we got to enjoy it somehow. Like that's what maybe when we beat Inter, that maybe I realised that like this is not a regular occurrence that we go and just beat Inter. Sort of, it wasn't a really tough game for us. We had players out, and we could be on the edge of doing something crazy this season. And it'd be annoying if we sat here and sort of just overanalyze absolutely everything. Sometimes you just got, who cares? I think we're going to win it. It's okay. It's okay to say it, sort of thing. And it's getting towards the more serious game weeks where you can actually sort of enjoy that. Imagine we do beat United and there's 12, 15 games left to play only, and that's it. We win a league. That's it. Like, it's all done. We win a league. So, yeah, man, I think it's getting the crowd into that mood is going to be key. It's going to be key.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Can I just say one thing, Rob, before you come in, right? I actually got a bit of perspective the other day on everything, right? So I don't know if you saw Thierry on Monday Night Football. And he said, because I've been saying, even though we're top and we're doing great, I'm finding it difficult to really enjoy the season because there's like anxiety from what's happened in previous seasons. And Thierry's obviously questioned Arteta before, and he's had a little backlash about it. And he said, listen, we've all asked him to win the league. We're top of the league, 7 points clear. He's doing what we want from him. Nobody told him how to get there. We just told him to get there. And he said, you need to enjoy it rather than always questioning everything. He's winning the league at the moment. So let's enjoy the fact that he's top of the league. And I sat there and I thought, you know what? He's right, Like, listen, I do want glamorous football. I do want us to win 5-0. But if we win the league at the end of the season, nobody cares how we got there. It's just about getting there. So, when Thierry talks, you kind of listen.
Wenger said a similar thing to me over in Abu Dhabi. And he said, listen, he was absolutely convinced that we're going to win it. He goes, we've got the best team. He goes, the manager's doing a great job. And he goes, that squad, he goes, we're going to win. He goes, you wait until we get later on. And I think the key, these players coming back now, like, because if you think about it, we've been rotating out of necessity. So, like, this player's injured, he has to come in, and that's all great. But when you can rotate off of, you've got players hungry, like what we saw last night, that's a different type of rotation, isn't it? If you turn around and say, right, Gabriel, chill out, man. Mosquera's got this. Jesus, come in, and I want you to do me a job. And then players are coming in with that. That's different. Because they're coming in fresh, and they're coming in and especially when they can start to see the finishing line, and every time you can keep rotating and bringing in fresh players, that's big. And is it that we had all those traumatic injuries and that at the start of the season, but now we're starting to get it where we can rotate players properly? Because again, as I was just going back to Villa now, all of a sudden they've lost Kamara, huge loss. So they're going to have to try and go into the transfer market and bring someone in to replace him. They got games coming thick and fast now. They got a Europa League game Thursday night. Then on Sunday, they got to go away to Newcastle without Kamara. This is the bad time for the City. All of a sudden it don't seem. All right, they've gone out and spent money, but it's still. Mark Gay is going to have to hit the ground running. It may not necessarily, we've seen with Eze, it doesn't always translate that, even if it takes, and at this time of year, even if it takes you 4 weeks to get going, that could be 4 or 5 games and it's over. So we're in a really good position. I really just hope that we don't get any significant injuries between now and the end of the season. And then we can rotate in, where, when we can do the rotation in the proper way without always it having to be just replacing someone who's injured. So it's going to be really, really interesting. But let's get into prediction time. First of all, we take a look at the table. I don't think anybody got Arsenal winning 3-1 away at Inter, right? Jack's still on 25, Leon 22. Me and Curtis still. Listen, Curtis, we need a win, man.
Oh, come on, man. Surely.
We need a win. We need a... You know what? Come on, Jack.
Roll the dice, man. We got to roll the dice.
I don't know, man. It's it's looking a bit easy for me at the moment. Obviously, you and Curtis down there at the bottom on 17. Like, I forgot you even joined bottom. To be honest, Robbie, it's nice to see you down there at the bottom. You know, Lee still below me as well. Curtis, you're forever bottom. I've sort of forgot about you at this point.
Forever bottom.
You're the
Oh, yeah,
Chelsea.
no, Robbie, we need a meeting. We need a meeting, bro. We
You're
need a
so
meeting.
far behind. I'm not thinking about you. You're the Liverpool with the title race. You're like Liverpool and Chelsea. We don't have to think about you. You got me and Lee as City and Arsenal.
I've got great history, but I'm just at the mix
You're
this
out of it,
season,
mate.
boys. I am.
So man said forever bottom.
No. Relax,
He's absolutely skinned you there,
No,
Curtis.
yeah. I'm not happy with it. I'm gonna take his hat off in the next show. He's gonna
You're Rob
throw the hat.
I think prediction-wise, Man United at home, I'm going to go 3-1. Why not? And Bruno's going to score against us.
Lee's face says it all, boys.
No,
you already know what.
I'm going big as well. I'm going 3-0.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm going to go 2-0 then. I'll go 2-0. Will we keep a clean sheet? Well, we have in the last 2 games. It's just we ain't scored, but I'll go 2-0.
Yeah, I'm going 2-0 as well.
Forever.
If you can't beat them, join them, boys. Hey, if this ship's sinking, we're both going.
Hey, you're wicked, Joe. You're evil, man. You're evil. Right, let's get comments of the day. Comments of the day. You want me to kick it off?
Yeah,
go on.
Okay, my comment of the day is oops, where's it gone? Is this one from Rion99 James. He says, everyone's always talks about Noni, but don't understand what he brings to the team. At least he makes problems for other teams. He scored a banger versus Bruges. What does he get in return? The bench. So you can't blame him when Sacco's been stinking out games. No one calls him out. But when it's others, they're fast to do so. Well, I kind of disagree with Rion there. I do think Madueke, I've been thinking he's been okay this season. We need to see more end product. But I think the thing is, Rion, when it comes to Saka, that's it. He has end product. You can even see him in a game sometimes where it seems like he hasn't done much. And then you look at the end, he's had an assist or he causes so many problems. I'm telling you, the Inter fans around me, every time he got that ball yesterday, they were like, oh, God. Because he was going inside, outside. He is such a good player. But I think Madueke's done. I just need to see a bit more end product, like the guys said on the last show, from Noni Madueke. And if he does that, then,
Let the manager down against Forest, Rob. Sorry, you know what I mean? That was his opportunity. That was his game. And he fouled. That's why he's on the bench.
Yep. Okay, let's get who's next?
All right, I've got one here. So from Dazza. So Lee wasn't happy with my El Neni shout, right? He wanted an upgrade. So Dazza said, Lee is more like a prime Matteo Flamini.
Got a volley against Spurs.
Look, you're still not happy with that, are you?
No, I'm not going to be happy with that, am I? You know what I mean?
Flamini.
He's a billionaire now.
He's a billionaire, man. I'm telling you. I used to like Flamini, though.
Scored a couple of goals at White Hart Lane. I'd love to have done that. I must admit,
I used to like Flamini. He's a good little utility player, wasn't he?
He was all right.
But we're levels above players like that now, aren't we?
Yeah. And Lee, I'd still say you're higher than Flamini.
Thank you very much. Very much,
No problem, fella.
Yeah, I'll give you a Ceballos, Lee. Maybe a Ceballos, something like that.
Yeah, Danny Ceballos. I'll take that.
Ceballos, I'll give you Ceballos.
I like Danny Ceballos. I've gone for Willio Mo Fire 1677. Lee wearing that Everton hat. Coincidence. So I did have a blue hat on there, like, you know what I mean? Didn't think of Everton, and I didn't think that Everton were going to win that game whatsoever. I had no faults whatsoever. I just thought that Villa would win that game, but then football's a funny game, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
But big up to Everton. I thought they were brilliant on the day that day, and that made Sunday a good point for us. I know it sounds silly, you know. And as my good mate Russ said, like, you know, if Arsenal would have won against Forest 5-0, right, and Manchester City would have won, we'd still been on 6 points, even though we'd won 5-0 at Forest. Football's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, I've got one here from 1-5 Ron Porkall 5. Sorry, I didn't even read the name out last time. You guys got annoyed, so I'm trying my best.
I don't bother with the name normally.
But someone said that I'll wait for the day for Jack to have a number 14 Gyokeres shirt in the back. So I wanted to point out again, I did this just for this comment. Whoever this comment is, you inspired me to do this. So although I can read your name properly, big up. I'm listening.
So you just got caught out because you told us at the start of the show you've had that since the start of the season.
What?
Now you said you've done it for that guy.
No,
hey, hold on.
I only just put it up here.
Check.
I only just put it up here. I've had the shirt since the end of this. I've had the shirt since the start of the season, but I only just put it up here because of that comment. Taking my words, trying to spin on press conference.
Well, listen, guys. Massive game at the weekend against Manchester United. Curtis, yeah. If we beat Manchester United, will you be appearing like this?
Let's go. That's a have. Who's done that to him? Like,
oh no! Come on. What's look at the hair, man. Yo, I look rough.
What's going on?
I look homeless. Mikel's got me evicted.
Oh my god! You already know. Know that's a Ryan special.
It's Ryan, man. You know what? Ryan is a shameless guy. If there's ever a chance to get him out of the company, I'll be, you know what I mean? I miss Brennan, to be honest.
Like, he's, you know what I mean? He's looking after, he looks after his man. I'm going to have to, I've got someone on the old production in my back pocket. Don't worry. And there'll be something on Monday for us all to watch. Like, you know what I mean?
There you go.
I've got your back. Remember there you go. Like, Fourever got your back, mate. Don't worry about that.
Come on, mate. I respect it. Listen. Robbie, that was so early in the season and you're already doing that. Okay, I remember that.
Anyway, guys, listen, thank you very much, man. It's a great show. We're all in a good mood. It's a great win over Inter, but let's hope we can go and do that against Manchester United as well on the weekend. Keep the train going. Thanks to Lee. Thanks to you, Jack. And also thanks to you, Curtis. And thanks to you guys. Don't forget, keep those comments coming in. We love to hear from each and every one of you. Keep following the show, and we'll see you next week. And we're going to leave you and take you out like this.